this is really just the beginning. So get ready for some hot tea and a lot of truths.
The man's is gonna fight. Come fight, I'm ready. I'll get my daddy after you.
Yo.
So he was married at like 17. He even introduced me to his wife and the baby. No, like she thinks her dad's dead.
Oh.
Because the mother told her the dad's dead.
So do you think that married parents have it easier? Or is it just a myth?
Welcome to Let's Talk Daddy, and I'm your daddy's girl, Tavia Tequila.
And I'm Ash, your girl with daddy issues.
Together we share real,
Raw,
and relatable topics. Today we're diving into daddy talks. Afternoon.
Hey.
Are you taking a bag? Oh, do you have a rewards card?
Yes, thank you. Here you go.
Oh, this is so cool. This is like one of my favorite films.
I'm just getting this for my movie collection.
The cinematography on this is so cool. Like, we actually watched this in film school and we wrote a paper on it last term.
Oh, you're studying film?
Yeah, I'm studying film while working here part-time.
That's like a whole thing. Is your family, are they like okay with that?
Well, my parents are divorced, but my dad raised me and like, he's been really supportive with my lifestyle.
Good for you. Well, you turn out great.
Yeah, well, I never thought I would turn out bad just because I was raised by my dad. Anyway, here you go. Thank you and have a great day.
You should have said she turned out alright. Like, with air quotes.
Well, that's what the smirk was for.
Episode 10. Ash, we are finally in the double digits.
Yes, we can't stop. We won't stop. This is really just the beginning.
It is. And today we are talking about all the things daddy, of course, and we do it with every episode. But this one's a special episode because we talk about single dads, which is very close to my heart, teenage fathers, and those unexpected journeys into parenthood. And we are diving into some spicy topics like abortion and the role of dads in the decision-making process.
Oof, oof. And don't forget, we're also comparing parenthood in married versus unmarried couples. So get ready for some hot tea and a lot of truths.
Oh, this is gonna be a heavy episode. The man's is gonna fight. Come fight, I'm ready. I'll get my daddy after you. I'm
Mortal
ready.
Kombat.
Single dad team.
Deadbeat dad type.
And fight. As you know, I've been raised by a single dad since 1994, since the year I was born, since I can remember. So clearly I am single dad team. My dad did not go out to buy milk, but my mom did. But I will say that single dads raising their father
Their father?
Single dads can raise their father. Single dads raising their children do get a lot more credit.
Yes.
I've seen it personally. Like, a lot of people are firstly shocked, then they think
I
your
mean,
mother's
I was.
then they think your mother's dead.
Yes, I also thought that.
Then they're like,
I blame Walt Disney for that.
it's Walt Disney. And then we had this discussion, and then they start to praise and be like, wow, like, your dad must be amazing to take on that sacrifice and do all of that. but moms don't get it. I understand why, because it's not common.
It's not common, yes.
It does take a lot for a man like my dad to raise 3 kids all on his own. And then not have a girlfriend for the rest of his life or partner.
And
we as mothers, they can still go back into dating, and
not without difficulty.
I mean, there's still difficulty on both sides, but mostly women look at a man with 3 kids that has, because mostly if in a divorce situation, the mother will have custody, or majority is a primary caregiver. So a woman can enter a single dad's life easier because the kids are not around that much. That makes sense. They're not physically around.
Yeah.
Whereas with mothers, a man can take that on. Maybe that.
But not every man
always.
is willing to take
when
that
they
on.
say take it on, I don't think they're gonna also full on take on that risk. So you get some losers, stepfathers, I'm sure.
Yes, you definitely do.
Yeah.
You do get loser step parents, you get parents, you get fathers that will not raise their first child but will raise the second with another baby mama.
That sounds very personal.
I mean, I don't have kids, so not me, but I know someone that done that. She's raising her kid on her own. The father's not involved, and it's his first kid, but he got into another relationship after.
Was it soon?
I don't know. Yes, it is, because
The kids are like a year.
they are a few years apart from each other, yes. But he's involved in the daughter's life and not the son's life. Yeah.
There could be various aspects of that as well. But we also need to talk about teenage dads and them stepping into that type of fatherhood role and adulthood. And just like, I'm just imagining 17-year-old me and but a boy version, being responsible for another
entire
boy.
life, yo.
Another, like you a dad and or let's say you have a son or girl and you're just responsible for another child. You're responsible.
Yes, you are a child and you're still being responsible for another kid, bruh.
I was stressing about the matric exams.
17, I could not keep a cactus alive. Like, now I have to raise a baby, a fetus that can't do anything for themselves.
I was getting annoyed of just looking after my 2 German shepherds. Feeding them, washing them.
Raising puppies is like
Cleaning
raising
up
kids
after
in a
them.
sense.
In a sense, yeah, no, it is true. There is some sort of like, they're not independent enough yet, like just as a baby. But like, I was really annoyed about that. So can you imagine, like, mommy, I got a girl pregnant. Yeah.
I wonder actually how my mom would have handled that discussion if my brother had to say that. Because he's most the baby.
Ooh.
So I actually wonder how she would have handled that discussion with him. I know with me, she was waiting for me to announce that, hey, you're gonna be a grandmother. And then I just had to get to the point where I'm like, hey, you're never gonna be a grandmother from me.
You had to draw that.
Yes.
Yeah, she finally accepted it.
Yes.
She
has. But yeah, I think that would have been a difficult
No, but I
discussion
think with
for
a
her.
mother and a son, I'm sure it's different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would have been difficult with her and my brother because,
And he's the youngest.
yes, he's her baby, so that would have been a concern. I think she also would have been concerned about his education because he's still studying now, so she would have been concerned about that.
I'm thinking of like the teenage dads in school. So there was a lot of teenage moms in my school. I went to a very rough and skof school.
No, same.
A very public school, and a lot of the girls were pregnant, and that also was one of the reasons why I was like, I'm gonna stay a virgin.
There was a girl in my class. There were two girls actually that were pregnant in my class. And the father of the one had the baby daddy was an adult man. Yes, that's another discussion which we'll not get into right now. But then with the second one, the dad was a teen because he was also in the school, but he was like a year or two younger than her.
Oh, so
But we were matric.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a bit also iffy in a way.
So with the girls that were pregnant, none of their dads, the girls that I knew that were also in the same year, different class. They weren't in my class, but we were in the same classes in the early when we started in high school.
Okay.
Older, we weren't like 16, 17, we split up. But their fathers weren't there. But I knew two guys in my class that were dads. The one was like very arrogant and very like, I'm a hood. Like he was openly just like he would openly be like, I want to sleep with as much women I want to, all the girls in the school. You just want to go through. But you were a teenage boy. Think about it, not now. Because now you're thinking about it as an adult. As a teenage boy, it's like, that's all the street kid you're going to get. And the girls, that's all you talk about. That's all teenagers talk about in school, right? So put yourself in that 17-year-old Tavia and Ash. And he got a girl, a matric pregnant. She was a straight A student.
Oh, shit.
She was, I don't know where she is in life, but got her pregnant. And then a couple of years on Facebook, I saw they're still married. I don't think they got married. Maybe they did. I don't know. They're still married, and they have a second child. The other one, he was in my class. And we had like a tiff. I can't remember. He did something like he touched my ass with my boob and I smacked him. And ever since then he like respected me a lot. And we like it became like a weird respect thing. We started to develop like a friendship. And he would tell me, he's like, I'm married. I'm like, what? You're like 17.
17, yo.
He's like, yeah, he's got a girl from another high school. A Muslim, they're both Muslim, got a Muslim girl pregnant, and she was 14.
Oh.
15. I could be lying. She might even be 16, but I know she was younger.
So concerning though.
But then he got pregnant. Her father found out, and then they were like, you guys must marry.
Yo.
So he was married at like 17. He even introduced me to his wife and the baby. And he did say it changed. I did see a change. And like looking back now.
How did he change? For the better or worse?
For the better. Like he was he wasn't like a hooligan. He wasn't loud. He also became very reserved. And he would sit and talk to me about like his baby. Like he would just talk about his child and his wife. And like he wouldn't openly talk about these struggles because he's still 17. You won't openly talk
you're not going to be like, hey, I'm struggling with writing and feeding my baby at night.
It wasn't as that much, but I know that he stepped up. He was a 17-year-old married man. I don't know if they're still together. That stepped up. It changed him a lot. He seemed very, very mature during that process. There was also a teenage mom as well, and I noticed there are changes in teenage parents. Like it's weird.
I know with the one girl with the two girls that were in my class that was pregnant. With the one that was 19, I can't really say she changed because she kept to herself mainly. What I do know is that she was determined to finish school. She did not let the pregnancy stop her at all. And I think there was a point where she was close to giving birth, like, in the third trimester, and she refused to stay out of school. She still came to school, did what she had to.
And your girl, and you one girl left. She didn't even fetch her final grade 11 report. I didn't see her matric. One girl fell pregnant in matric. Another girl failed. and she was in my class because she failed, so she was like a second year in grade 11. But she was like, that's not going to stop me.
Now you see, but the first girl, she was determined to finish. The second girl, I would say she was kind of immature. I think that was also, I could be wrong, but I think that was also the consensus with her and the baby daddy, that he seemed more mature than her, even though he was younger than her.
Oh.
Yeah, she was kind of like childish, and
you are still, you were a teenager.
You are a child, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That is so interesting. I mean, if you were a teenage dad, do reach out to us. And if you do have advice, I'm sure there are new teenage dads that are probably struggling right now, and there's no one that they can reach out to.
That must feel very isolating, actually, eh?
I'm sure for both teenagers.
Yes, because you can't, your mindset is very different. I know, I had a friend actually that was also, were we grade 11 or matric? I think no, we were in matric, where she fell pregnant, and it was still within the early stages, and she still asked us our opinion. She was asking us, should she keep the baby or should she get a divorce? And I remember I was the only one that actually encouraged her to an abortion. I remember I was the only one that encouraged her to get an abortion. I know. Because I was trying to explain to her, look, you still have your education. You want to finish school. And I was just trying to say, you don't want anything to distract you from it. You don't have the capabilities right now to have a child. It's basically what you... Yes, that's what I was saying. You can always have a kid, but for now, focus on school. I know everyone... I can still remember my friends were saying I was cruel for suggesting that she get an abortion. But my thing was just you're young. There will be a time for it.
With the abortion thing, we're the same age, and at that time it wasn't really, I think now it's spoken about, the abortion thing is very common, there's more access to it, but I think that time, 10, 13, it was 13 years ago that we matriculated, 13, 14 years ago. I think...
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah, we're old. We're double digits. People never spoke about it, really. Girls were just falling pregnant. And I'm so curious to find out about the guy's decision.
Yeah. Should the guy have an opinion?
I had a discussion with someone about this. And yes, I do think a guy should have a choice in it. They should at least have their opinion be heard in the discussion, because it did take two people to make this.
Yes.
So why are we eliminating whether it's a teenage boy or adult man, why are they eliminating? It's very much my body, my choice.
It is very tricky. Yeah.
It's true, but why can't he at least be heard? Because I know someone that really wanted to be a father, was really excited. I mean, he's a full-grown adult in his 30s. Was I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I don't want to be an older 40-year-old dad. And the girl decided, this woman decided that because she had found out, she had been divorced for many years, but she had found out, she had a child with her ex-husband, that he was coming back into the country, and it was during the time that she was also pregnant with this other man's child. So she...
But did she want to get back together with the ex?
Yeah. So then...
Oh.
She made up a lie that it was a miscarriage and everything.
Oh.
And till this day, this man, not so much anymore.
Oh.
He's heartbroken because he was... This is the discussion I was having with another colleague. People don't think about men. There are men that want to be fathers. There are men that are ready, and maybe they are at that age where they're like, I want to be a father. Like, it is a decision, because we always hear about women saying, I can't wait to be a mother, but there are men just
that want to be fathers, yeah.
And then it was also a very traumatic, just a 2-second phone call, and then she put down the phone, blocked everything. So you never had a choice at life. So the process was...
So he was just that...
He wasn't even there physically. It was just dropped on him, cut off completely from the world.
That's fucked up.
I'm so like...
Shame, man.
That's like... It's sad that it's someone that actually wanted this. And you get someone that's a deadbeat that wants nothing to do with it. Then, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's weird how those... So, yes, I do think that the father of the child should have an opinion to some degree, because I know there are cases where women have been assaulted and have had... I don't believe in that. So I just want to be clear.
That's something different.
That's something different. I'm
talking about two consenting adults that are fully aware of what they got themselves into. They knew that, hey, if we have unprotected sex, it could lead to pregnancy, and that's exactly what happened.
You're not talking about assault or grooming situation. No. Can we just be... I just want to be clear on that.
No, but then I think it should be a discussion. Because you are both, like you said, it takes two to tango. You are both involved in this. At the end of the day, the final decision is the woman's, because she's the one bearing the child.
But I do think that if the father of the child does come in and say, I will support you, I'm here, it does give some sort of reassurance to the woman.
But that's also the thing. Saying something and doing something are two very different things.
But that's the risk you take, because you already took that risk about having unprotected sex and having... That's also the risk you take. So it comes back to the question, like, you need to be careful about who you want to be the father of your child. So
you need to be careful about
who you're having
unprotected sex with.
No, but at the end of the day, a lot of relationships are like that. The father can step out in whether you're married or not. Like, it's still the same situation, because you know. And I think to some degree, the father should have
an opinion,
but it does come down to you. I feel like if I was in a situation and there was someone that actually wants to be a father, I wouldn't have an abortion. It would make me feel, but I also need to bear the consequences of me not doing that. So at the same time, if I made that decision and be like, you say you want to be a father to the child, I will be like, okay, I'll keep the child. And if the father leaves, I can't blame him.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask you now. So what if we flip the switch here, where the woman wants the kid but the father doesn't? What happens then?
I mean, that's the most common. I think that's the most common one, where I've seen situations where the woman still keeps it, but then you can't be like, you need to support. I mean, you can go.
You do need to still support.
But he did also give his opinion and say, like, hey, what if he says, I'm not going, I want you to know. What if this dude is like very direct and like, Ash, I don't want to be involved. I'm not going to give you any money. I'm not ready to have a child. I want nothing to do with this.
But you knew the risk when you
well, that's true.
You spread your seed in my walls. You knew the risk. You knew what was going to happen.
Graphic.
I know. But like, no, that's the thing. If you want to have unprotected sex and you are coming with your bullshit excuses saying like, I'm allergic or it's too small for me, then you must bear the consequences of that action.
That's true.
So even if you don't want the kid, this is what happens when...
both of them are.
Yes.
This is someone said the child is, I heard so this meme. That's your receipt for not wearing a condom.
No, what's the, you know what? Yeah. But if I would say, let's say I get pregnant, father doesn't want, the baby daddy doesn't want the kid, I do want the kid, and he's now being straight up with it, saying like he doesn't want to, then I hope that you know, then this is what I would say. I hope that you know that with you saying that you are not going to support the kid at all, you do not have a kid at all. This is not your son, or this is not your daughter.
But then
this is my kid alone. Because you chose to opt out, you chose to unsubscribe from parenthood, you can't resubscribe. But you are out there for good.
Okay.
Because you get parents that do that when they come years later and they're like,
I've heard of this, so yeah.
No, you do not get that option.
You
That's
waive
what
your
I'm
right.
gonna say. Yeah.
But then what do you tell the child? Because I know someone that actually told, because I don't know, I met them in, it's not actually someone I know personally, it's someone, I know, the person that told me the story, I know them personally. And it was a family member of theirs, and I was like, oh, they went on, so I'm like, is the father involved in this, whatever. No, like, she thinks the dad's dead.
Oh.
Because the mother told her the dad's dead. I was like, that's...
You know what,
Because what if the father searches her out one day and that's
a very difficult
What if you
discussion
accidentally let it slip and she's old and she hears it?
Because some family member will slip out the truth at a family gathering. That always happens. I know with my godson, his father is not in his life, eh? But it's not because his mother told him or anything. She didn't have anything. He actually came to the conclusion himself where he's like, I don't have a father. And she's tried showing him like, this is how your father looks.
Oh, yeah?
He's like, no, I don't have one. And this is not from her.
That's a coping mechanism. That sounds like a coping mechanism.
But the thing is, she didn't badmouth him or anything like that. That was really just...
I think it's for him, it's a way to make sense of his world.
Yes, he came to that conclusion.
It's a little bit sad also, even though, because she's trying to integrate. She's like, I at least want you to see.
Yes. He was like, no, it's not. And what's funny, shame. He looks exactly like his father.
It's always like that.
He looks exactly like his father. He has his father's personality as well.
I know someone where like this guy even wanted a paternity test, and she showed me a picture of her son and showed me a picture of the father. And I'm like, this is the same person. How can you
still want a paternity test?
This was he asked for a paternity test years later when the child was 6 years old.
Nee.
It's so insane. But it's so wild, man.
It is
like,
wild.
It's always like that where the father that wants nothing to do with the child, where the child ends up looking just like them. It's so
I think at the end of the day, you have to realize that your kid is also going to grow up.
That's what I wanted to ask you earlier on, because now you're saying you're opting out, right? You're opting out the father's not, you're not involved, you can't come back years later. But think about the headspace of the child, because they're gonna ask you, as they grow up, they're gonna want to get some sort of context. So do you say, hey, this is what your dad looks like, hey, this is your dad, hey, your dad's not there? How do you integrate that? Because they're going to ask, because there's going to be examples in school, like me growing up and coming to the realization that, yes, I do have a mother, but they're not together.
Yeah.
It was hard for me, because I would hear people in class when I was 6 years old talk about their mommy and their daddy. My friend down the road, my childhood friend, like I would go visit, and I would see, it was weird. It was the weirdest thing for me to see their mommy and daddy interact. I was like, this is not normal.
Oh, wow.
I found it so weird to see them hug. I'm like, this is not normal. I probably look like a creepy sit. So that's the question. So think about me now. And then think about your child, because they're going to go through that same headspace with the father not being. They're going to see their best friend's dad come at PS, cheer them on at the soccer game. Oh, but then where's my dad? Because
that's difficult.
Because you already also like told the father off, because the father's not interested. But now people forget about the child is actually involved.
I don't know. I really don't know. I will say,
it's tough.
It's very tough. I will say, okay, obviously I know who my sperm donor is.
Yes.
And with him, I know my mom, she told him that one day Ashton's gonna grow up. And when she grows up, she's going to see you for who you are with her own eyes. Because she never badmouthed him or anything.
My dad did the same.
Yeah,
My mom did
the opinion that I have of him is one that I've developed myself.
Same, yeah, same.
So you see so many examples of how the parent that's with the kid tries so hard to keep how can I say? They try so hard to not have that parent that walked out, to not show them.
What do you mean?
I say?
Make an example of yourself, like you trying so hard to not show your figurative child his father.
Yeah, like not
You try not
remind them of
Oh, but like it's almost like push it under the rug.
Yes.
Like it's a secret.
But then that child still wants. They're gonna do
They
it.
want so. I think it's the same even if you adopt children. They want to know their background, even if they have a great relationship with their family.
Yeah, that was the only way that I would have actually considered having kids. Adoption. Weirdly, I'm open to adoption, but not childbirth.
I wonder what your therapist Tavia would say. Why don't you want to bear a child? What is it about?
I don't know, because I think it's because I don't know.
Oh no, I was joking. But okay, go.
Y'all share a name.
Tell us. If you guys don't know, Ash's therapist and I have the same name. So to help distinguish, we call her Tavia, and it's creepy. I still think it's creepy. And I'm Tavia. So your therapist is listening to us.
I'm gonna tell her to listen to this episode. But I don't know, like I can remember adoption was never new to me. Because in primary school, for example, there was our school was a Catholic school, and at the school there was an orphanage also. So there would be orphans that would come to the school. We'd call them the homies because we'd actually call them the homies because
Did you call that to their face?
people would refer to them as the homies because the thing is they would also stick together.
No, but they are adopted.
Yeah, so they were homies.
Yeah.
So that already exposed me in a sense to orphans and adoption. Because with my family also, with my granny, they would be like, I think 2 kids that they would take from the home and let them spend holidays with us.
Okay. So maybe that's where the interest of it's a nurturing aspect actually. It has nothing to do with like falling pregnant, but it's more like you understand where they come from, you understand their loneliness to some extent, and maybe you want to ease that.
Because when I was 19 and I did my internship, with our internship we had to do something we had to do 4 things. So every term, essentially, we had to do something as an intern group because it was like in government. So each and we were spread amongst the different departments. So all of the interns of this department had to do
within the okay,
Yes,
I get it, yeah.
And I know one of the things that we did was we went to an orphanage and we just spent the day with the kids.
It's just reoccurring in your life. I see it now. It's been a
and it was nice to spend time with the kids, but Shem, it was also sad because like you're just having fun. And then I remember there was this one kid that like instantly became attached to me, so he didn't want to let go. And I was like, it was sweet, but it was also like, this is weird, I need to leave, you know. So I'm not unfamiliar with adoption. Like you said, it's I've had a positive experience of it, so that's why I was more open to that than actually giving birth.
I also had a period of, I'm sure I probably will still adopt. When I was a teenager, I was already thinking like, I could see myself get married, don't have children, but adopt children. I don't know why that was but I think it has to do, looking back now, why 17-year-old Tavia was thinking that. I think it's because I understand that abandonment, it's some sort of loneliness, but I think to them it's like they have no parents, whereas I still have one. So maybe I still wanted to
Give them that experience.
give them some sort of support, because I know what it's like to not have. But I've seen at an event like younger orphan kids, they cling. It breaks my heart as much. Like,
It's sad. Sure.
like I see them cling to it, and it's really. It's like I can't take you all in, but I want to.
Yeah.
I really, really want to. It's so sad, man.
So let's talk about parenthood with married and unmarried.
Oh, what do you want to get into?
So do you think that married parents have it easier, or is it just a myth?
Not just married, but I think committed long term, because there are
Yeah.
some people that don't want to get married. But let's
Yes.
focus on married.
Yeah, let's just group it as married.
It depends on what you mean by easier, because you get married where there's only one person working financially. That's hard. Seems like it's harder.
Let's say parenthood.
I think yes. I think that if my parents were married, things would be easier for both parents, for my dad. Like, if I were to go back, my dad wouldn't have to leave work early to come to award shows. My dad wouldn't have to be so poor. He struggles to make ends meet because maybe my mom will be working. Let's say my mom wasn't working. The house would be tidy and clean, whereas we had to come home from school, clean it, tidy before my daddy gets home and cook. Things would have been easier for him, to some degree. I know it wasn't an easy. If it's an easy marriage, it wasn't an easy marriage, but it was. I think raising a child as for married people are easy. I do think so, because there's no way. I said this before. My therapist said there's no way that your father can provide what a two-parent role is supposed to provide. Your father could only, unfortunately, do the financial aspect, provide or make sure that you get school clothes, stationery, food, a house, blah, blah, blah. He couldn't provide the emotional aspect, the emotional support. So I think, yeah, they do have it easy.
Okay. But marriage in itself also comes with its own challenges, because this is now us looking at it from the perspective of parenthood. Because like you said, with finances, for example, that would be easy because it's not just one parent trying to work their budget. You have you have a bigger financial pool to sort out your finances. But then there's also your marriage.
Yeah, the relationship itself.
Yes, the relationship within itself.
I know that I've heard that apparently like like the marriage does slightly deteriorate. But I understand why, because there's this entity that actually this child controls a child controls the household. A baby itself, if a baby cries, both parents have to be alert. If a baby is hungry, everything is centered around that. You actually forget about you and your partner. I've seen that. Then you always hear men like, "Oh, all she cares about is a child."
I know someone like that.
You know,
didn't necessarily say that.
I've heard that a lot from like married men. Actually.
Yeah, he had a kid prior to, I think he was a teenage dad, but he was still in the kid's life and everything, still raising the kid, and she was also in the kid's life. But then when they got married, she got pregnant. She got pregnant and it changed because she became all about her baby.
Oh yeah, that does happen. But you need to have a strong marriage, because you need to know for the first 3 years it's just gonna be that baby's gonna want everything from her. It's gonna be draining. She probably also doesn't want to breastfeed 8 hours a day. Like, you need to understand that during that phase. That's one of the things I worry about, though.
Your marriage.
I worry
Once you
about
become a
how this child is going to cling to me. And I can see from the outside, from a man's perspective, like all you care about is the child. But in my head, I do care about you and I do care about the child, but the child really needs me to survive. It's like it must be a very conflicting, because you see yourself, you see this marriage separate to some degree. You have to be ready, and there are healthy marriages where it's
But isn't that also where you step in as the other partner?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You also need to express your needs, because this one podcaster also said, like, there were times where she was sitting and breastfeeding and her partner was in the other room and she just wished. She was like so sad, man, because she was also they're both working at home and they had high level jobs. And there were just times where she was like, I wish she could just check in on me and take this child so that I can just have a moment to myself. And then she realized she just needed to communicate it.
Okay.
But she also understood that they both also understood, they were a very healthy couple, they both understood that there's nothing that you can't breastfeed the child right now.
Yeah.
Like it has to be like her.
Maybe sit with me as I'm
But then he started checking in he started like just walking past, even though he was working, if you would go to the bathroom, he'd be like, how you doing? And that made her feel it made them feel connected and stronger. And then they forced themselves to like go out. So they slot it in so that it doesn't dissipate. They slot in times for each other so that I guess it takes a lot of work, and that it's something that.
But that's a partnership, eh?
Yeah.
That's really a partnership at the end of the day.
Yeah. But what was you? But do you think that it is easier, like besides the
to raise kids as a marriage?
Besides you spoke about the financial aspect of it, where you do think, it is easier. But
I would say to a degree, but it also depends on the people involved.
Because I'm sure there is like people that are married, but then they still have that same experience of loneliness of when you are unmarried. I'm sure.
Yes, it depends on the people involved, because you can be in a loveless marriage. You can be lonely in a marriage. I also don't wish that upon
There was a moment where I did experience this, unrelated to parenthood and fatherhood, where I was with someone, and then near the end, it was a situationship. And I just started to feel lonely even when I was with them. They were very avoidant, and they started like separating themselves from me. But I felt there was this moment where I remember sitting on the couch and I was like, why do I feel lonely? It was a moment where I was sitting on the couch and I was like, why do I feel lonely? We weren't in a relationship. We both we weren't in a relationship, but it was going to get, if we did play it forward, if we both agreed upon it, it would have been. But I'm like, why do I feel lonely when I'm around this person? So that feeling, I was like, I don't want to feel this ever again. And ironically, that person had that experience before in a previous relationship. And I was, because they hinted towards that, about that feeling of loneliness in a relationship. And I was like, and that was the first time ever experiencing that. And I was like, I don't wish this upon myself ever again.
I experienced that in my longest relationship also, where I felt very lonely. I felt lonely and undesired also.
Oh, neglected.
Yes, because the relationship got to the point where everything was a routine.
Oh, it's just complacency, functionality.
Yes. And I didn't feel desired, because like he wouldn't also initiate anything.
And I'm sure
I would be the initiator. And I'm not just talking physical, but also just like general connection.
The honeymoon phase is done, and it's like, that does happen. And I'm sure that happens in marriages when the child is there. You forget what it's like when there's just the two of you.
You just go through that routine. You go to work, come home from work, cook dinner, feed the kids, wash the kids, help the kids with homework. Oh,
I'll get it.
I do not want the suburban life.
I'm already playing it forward. No, but I'm thinking of the negative. I'm being pessimistic. If I find the right person, I think it would. If I'm a good, I do not want that. I do know that I have become a good communicator. I try a lot. So I need to find someone with that same type of style or at least that do communicate. Hey, Tavia, I'm feeling neglected right now. You key. I know that you need to breastfeed. I know that you need to take care of the baby, but can you come sit on the couch? You know,
talk to me.
Do something what we used to do. Like, gosh, am I ready? Ash, am I ready?
I don't know, girl. I don't want it, so I know I'm not.
You're gonna get a video call from me. I can't fucking take it.
Meanwhile, I'm here like, I'm in the middle of a date right now, you know.
Answer your phone. How do you take this baby away?
Girl, I'm at the airport. We're about to go on a holiday. What are you talking about?
Me watching my friend and be like,
why did I give
I don't think it would be like that. I think maybe to some degree, but I think I would also be, because I know what I want, man. I know what I want. So
now I'm referencing that movie though. Why did I get married and why did I get married to? It's Tyler Perry.
I know it sounds like a Tyler Perry.
It's Tyler Perry. You know what it is.
Oh my word. But that brings us to the end of episode 10. So we're going to head into, as you guys know already, our daddy takeaway, where we wrap it up with the final thought, maybe funny or serious quote, or advice inspired by this episode. So what's yours, Ash?
I would say,
I always ask you what's yours first, so I can think about mine.
I would say for my takeaway is like, no matter what type of father you are, whether it's you're single, in a marriage, teenage dad, whatever it is, show up. That's what counts. Show up. Be there. Be present. And showing up goes beyond just providing for the physical things, like just giving the money. You also need to, even though mothers,
the emotional support, like yes, like
there we go. You need to be the emotionally invested. Don't do it out of obligation. You knew what you were getting into when you had unprotected sex, so only do it if you're willing to take that. If you're willing to deal with.
I think the emotional support also, we have to think back to did their father provide, so they don't have an example, you know. So we also need to have we also need to think back, like, did my grandfather provide some emotional support to my dad? For me, for the fathers that did show up or do show up, and if you are a teenage dad and you're struggling, I'll just say that your child is going to be extremely grateful that you're in your life. So if you're in that turning point of your life, of like, I don't think I can do this, you can do this. Even as a teenager, show up, because they are going to be so grateful. I always tell my dad, I'm so grateful I was raised by you. He knows it. And I think his heart probably jumps a little. He doesn't show it, but I think sometimes they do want to hear that. Your child will value you so much. You will be a superhero. I know that for sure, in their eyes. So yeah, that is mine. If you do not have that opportunity, if you did not have an opportunity, if you were an orphan, just also a little advice from me, or if you had a very traumatic childhood or traumatic relationship with your parents, you can be a parent to yourself.
That's actually what I did at some point with my cousin, because we both have daddy issues. We started being each other's fathers.
That's very good. So for me, it's like, I'm gonna raise myself the way I would want my mother to have raised me. So I always look at my inner child when I go through difficult times, and I'm like, what would the mother me say to that child. So just know that you can also parent yourself and raise yourself and be the parent that you wanted. So it's not just about daddies, it's also about those that didn't have a daddy and those that didn't have a mommy. That's why I guess we touched a lot of lives today, Ash.
We did.
That is a wrap on our double-digit episode 10 of Let's Talk Daddy. So tell us what type of daddy shaped your life, whether they were in your life or not. Was your dad a teenage dad? And how did they show up? I'm so curious.
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting. If you were a teenage dad, I genuinely do want to know. Reach out to us on social media and tell us, like, what was it like growing up? Maybe we can do a part 2. I would really like to interview a teenage dad, and just because I just want to create awareness for that teenage dad. Because
What sense of community?
yeah, there is someone struggling right now.
Yes.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can also message us there on those platforms. And stay tuned for the next episode.
I'm Tavia, your daddy's girl.
And I'm Ash, not your daddy's girl. Let's Talk Daddy is brought to you by Millhouse Media, home of storytelling.
Called opening title, Raising Eyebrows, a chance encounter and a question of family. Tavia as herself. Shawn is played by himself, Shawn Villian. Anja is played as herself, Anja Volshank. This episode is written by Tavia Millward.
Coming up in the next episode of Let's Talk Daddy. That's their daughter. They've been searching for her for years. She's been missing.
The truth is, like, my dad isn't entirely that superhero trope
Yeah.
that I always tell people. Like, he is dealing with his alcohol addiction and he always has been. And because he doesn't know, like, now that I'm older, he doesn't know how to regulate his emotions.
They don't necessarily realize that it's an addiction and that it's affecting the family. But for him, his vice is gambling. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, it was gambling like before he started working now, because it was a time he wasn't working, he didn't want to. But whatever money he would get, he would immediately go to Grand West. It was actually introduced to him by his own mother.
After I did mention that he's an alcoholic, it's like, yeah, but I'm functioning. So here's this father that was and is an alcoholic, and my mother also have her own alcohol issues. I've only seen that periodically when I lived with her briefly. And then my brother was on drugs and was part of a gang, and so he was like always stealing.
So he was actively part of the gang.
Except, yeah, he was in and out of prison, in and out of rehab, and now he's a 36-year-old father, and he's like, it changes a lot.